Right? Yo, what do you be doing? Like, what are you interested in and shit?
Shit, nothing. I mean, I'm interested in my bed, you know what I'm saying? Just watching TV, you know what I'm saying? Stay by myself, thinking and stuff like that. That's what I'm interested in. What I do for fun? Honestly, nothing. I just be in the crib,
Nothing.
thinking, watching TV. Oh, I like to paint too and stuff like that, bro. Listen to a lot of music too.
Oh, okay.
If you've ever felt drained after a crowded party, preferred deep conversations over small talk, or found yourself recharging in solitude rather than seeking more social stimulation, you're likely experiencing the world through an introverted lens. Introversion isn't just about being shy or antisocial. It's a fundamental aspect of personality that shapes how you process information, interact with others, and navigate the world around you. Your introverted nature represents a distinct psychological profile that affects everything from how your brain responds to stimulation to the way you form relationships and pursue goals. Understanding the psychology behind introversion can help you embrace your natural tendencies, work with your strengths, and create a life that truly fits who you are. What makes you an introvert? You might think you know what introversion means, but the reality is more nuanced than popular culture suggests. If you're an introvert, your personality is fundamentally oriented toward your inner world of thoughts, feelings, and reflections rather than the external world of people and activities. Carl Jung, who first coined the terms introversion and extroversion, described introverts as people whose energy flows inward. When you're introverted, you tend to focus on your internal experiences. Your thoughts, emotions, and mental processes take precedence over external stimulation. This doesn't mean you dislike people or social situations. It means you process the world differently. Your introverted brain actually works differently from an extroverted brain. Research has shown that introverts have higher baseline arousal in their nervous systems, meaning you're naturally more sensitive to stimulation. While extroverts need more external input to feel comfortable and energized, you often find that too much stimulation becomes overwhelming. This is why you might feel exhausted after a busy day of meetings or social events, even if they were enjoyable. The key difference lies in how you recharge. If you're an introvert, you restore your energy through quiet activities, solitude, and reflection. You might find that you do your best thinking when you're alone, that you prefer to process experiences internally before sharing them with others, and that you often need time to formulate your thoughts before speaking. Your preference for depth over breadth is another hallmark of introversion. You likely prefer having a few close, meaningful relationships rather than a large network of acquaintances. When you engage in conversations, you probably gravitate towards substantial topics rather than surface-level chatter. This isn't because you're incapable of light conversation, but because deeper interactions feel more natural and satisfying to you. Many introverts also exhibit what psychologists call high reactive temperament. If this describes you, you might notice that you're more sensitive to your environment. Sounds seem louder, lights appear brighter, and you pick up on subtleties that others miss. This heightened sensitivity can be both a gift and a challenge, allowing you to notice things others overlook while sometimes feeling overwhelmed by sensory input. How your brain works differently. Your introverted brain operates on different pathways and responds to different neurotransmitters than an extroverted brain. Understanding these differences can help you appreciate why you function the way you do and why certain environments and activities feel more natural to you. When you're engaged in thought or reflection, your brain shows increased activity in the prefrontal cortex, the area responsible for planning, decision-making, and self-reflection. This explains why you might naturally gravitate toward activities that involve contemplation, analysis, and internal processing. Your brain is literally wired to find these activities rewarding and energizing. Introverts like you tend to have longer neural pathways for processing information, while extroverts rely heavily on the sympathetic nervous system, which triggers quick responses and seeks immediate rewards. Your brain favors the parasympathetic nervous system. This system is associated with rest, restoration, and careful consideration. It's why you might prefer to think things through before acting, and why you often perform better when you've had time to prepare. Your brain also responds differently to dopamine, the neurotransmitter associated with reward-seeking behavior. While extroverts are highly motivated by dopamine and the pursuit of external rewards, you're more sensitive to acetylcholine, a neurotransmitter linked to contemplation, introspection, and the ability to feel content without external stimulation. This neurochemical difference explains why you might find satisfaction in quiet activities like reading, writing, or simply thinking, while extroverts need more external stimulation to feel rewarded. The anterior cingulate cortex, an area of your brain involved in social cognition and emotional processing, also shows different patterns of activity in introverts. You're likely more attuned to emotional nuances and social subtleties, which can make you an excellent listener and observer of human behavior. However, this same sensitivity can sometimes make social situations feel emotionally intense or draining. Your brain's response to stress also differs from that of extroverts. When faced with high stimulation environments, your nervous system can become overstimulated more quickly. This isn't a weakness, it's simply how your brain is designed. You're more likely to perform optimally in calm, low-stimulation environments where you can think clearly and process information thoroughly. Research has also shown that introverts have thicker prefrontal cortexes, the brain region associated with deep thinking and planning. This biological difference supports your natural inclination toward reflection, analysis, and careful consideration of options before making decisions. Your energy and how you recharge. One of the most distinctive aspects of being an introvert is how you manage and restore your energy. Unlike extroverts who gain energy from external stimulation and social interaction, you operate more like an internal battery that needs quiet time to recharge. When you're in social situations, even enjoyable ones, you're likely expending energy rather than gaining it. This doesn't mean you don't enjoy people, or that you're antisocial. It simply means that social interaction requires effort and attention from you, in a way that solitude doesn't. You might notice that after a day of meetings, social events, or even pleasant conversations, you feel a particular kind of tiredness that goes beyond physical fatigue. Your ideal recharging activities probably involve minimal external stimulation. You might find restoration in reading, taking quiet walks, listening to music, engaging in creative pursuits, or simply sitting with your thoughts. These activities aren't escapism, they're necessary maintenance for your psychological well-being. Just as extroverts need social stimulation to feel their best, you need solitude and quiet to function optimally. The concept of social energy is particularly relevant for you as an introvert. You likely have a finite amount of social energy that gets depleted throughout the day. Small talk with coworkers, phone calls, group meetings, and casual interactions all draw from this reservoir. Once it's depleted, you might find yourself feeling irritable, mentally foggy, or emotionally drained. This is your signal that you need to retreat and recharge. You might also notice that different types of social interaction drain your energy at different rates. Meaningful conversations with close friends might be less draining than networking events or group discussions. Interactions where you can be authentic and discuss topics you care about might actually feel energizing, while situations requiring small talk or performance can be particularly exhausting. Your recharging process isn't just about being alone, it's about engaging with activities that align with your inner nature. You might find that certain solitary activities are more restorative than others. Creative pursuits, learning new things, or engaging in activities that allow for flow states can be particularly rejuvenating. The key is finding activities that engage your mind in a way that feels natural and satisfying rather than effortful. Many introverts also benefit from what could be called soft socialization, being around others without the pressure of active interaction. You might enjoy working in a coffee shop, attending lectures, or participating in parallel activities where you're technically social but not required to engage actively. This can provide some of the benefits of being around people without the energy drain of direct social interaction. The social side of being you. Your approach to social relationships is likely quite different from that of extroverts, but it's equally valid and often deeply rewarding. As an introvert, you probably prefer quality over quantity when it comes to relationships, gravitating toward deeper connections rather than broad social networks. You might find that you form friendships slowly but deeply. Where extroverts might quickly develop casual friendships with many people, you probably take time to really get to know someone before considering them a close friend. This cautious approach isn't due to shyness or social anxiety. It's because you invest significant emotional energy in your relationships and want to ensure that investment is worthwhile. Your communication style likely reflects your thoughtful nature. You probably prefer to listen more than you speak, and when you do contribute to conversations, your words are often well considered and meaningful. You might find small talk challenging not because you lack social skills, but because surface-level conversation doesn't engage you in a satisfying way. You're more likely to thrive in discussions about ideas, feelings, experiences, or topics you're passionate about. In group settings, you might often take on the role of observer before participant. You're probably skilled at reading social dynamics, noticing who's comfortable, who's struggling, and what the underlying tensions or energies might be. This observational skill makes you a valuable friend and colleague, even if you don't always vocalize your insights immediately. Your preference for one-on-one interactions or small groups isn't a limitation. It's where you shine. In intimate settings, you can engage more fully, share more authentically, and connect more deeply. You might find that your best friendships involve long, meandering conversations, shared activities that don't require constant talking, or comfortable silences that don't feel awkward. You probably also value authenticity highly in your relationships. Superficial interactions can feel particularly draining because they require you to engage socially without the reward of genuine connection. You likely prefer friends who appreciate your thoughtful nature, respect your need for processing time, and value depth over breadth in their own relationships. Your approach to conflict might also reflect your introverted nature. You probably prefer to think through disagreements privately before addressing them directly. You might avoid confrontation not out of fear, but because you want time to organize your thoughts and approach the situation thoughtfully. This can be a strength, as you're likely to address conflicts in a measured, considerate way once you've had time to process. How you handle emotions. Your relationship with emotions as an introvert is likely complex and deeply internal. You probably experience emotions intensely, but may not always express them immediately or outwardly. This internal emotional processing is a fundamental aspect of your psychological makeup. You might find that you need time to understand your own emotions before you can articulate them to others. When something significant happens, your first instinct is probably to retreat internally and process the experience before sharing it. This isn't emotional avoidance, it's how you naturally make sense of your experiences and integrate them into your understanding of yourself and the world. Your emotional intensity might surprise people who see you as calm or reserved. Internally, you likely experience feelings deeply and may be quite sensitive to emotional nuances in yourself and others. You might pick up on subtle emotional cues that others miss, and you probably think extensively about emotional experiences long after they occur. The concept of emotional overwhelm is particularly relevant for introverts. Because you process emotions so thoroughly, intense emotional situations can feel particularly draining. You might find that emotionally charged environments, dramatic interpersonal conflicts, or highly stimulating emotional experiences leave you feeling exhausted and needing significant recovery time. Your empathy is likely well developed, sometimes to the point where it becomes overwhelming. You might find yourself absorbing others' emotions or feeling deeply affected by others' pain or joy. This emotional sensitivity can be both a gift and a burden. It allows you to connect deeply with others and understand human nature, but it can also leave you feeling emotionally overloaded. You probably have a rich inner emotional life that includes extensive self-reflection, analysis of your feelings, and attempts to understand the deeper meanings behind your emotional experiences. You might spend considerable time thinking about why you reacted a certain way, what your emotions are telling you, or how your feelings connect to your values and goals. Your emotional expression might also be more selective. While you feel deeply, you probably share your emotions most openly with people you trust completely. With others, you might appear more composed or reserved, not because you're unemotional, but because emotional sharing requires vulnerability and energy that you reserve for your closest relationships. Your strengths that others miss. Being an introvert comes with numerous strengths that are often overlooked or undervalued in a culture that tends to celebrate extroverted qualities. Understanding and appreciating these strengths can help you build confidence and leverage your natural abilities. Your capacity for deep thinking is one of your greatest assets. While others might make quick decisions based on immediate impressions, you naturally consider multiple angles, think through potential consequences, and arrive at well-reasoned conclusions. This thoughtfulness makes you an excellent problem solver, strategist, and advisor. You're probably the person others turn to when they need someone to really think through a complex situation. Your observational skills are likely exceptional. Because you tend to listen more than you speak and observe more than you perform, you notice things others miss. You might pick up on subtle changes in people's behavior, underlying dynamics in group situations, or patterns that aren't immediately obvious. This makes you valuable in roles that require insight, analysis, or understanding of human behavior. Your ability to work independently is another significant strength. While extroverts might struggle with solitary work, you probably thrive when given the space and time to work through problems on your own. You can sustain focus for extended periods, work through complex tasks without constant external input, and produce high-quality work when you have the right environment. Your authenticity is likely one of your most attractive qualities. Because you don't engage in superficial social interaction as readily as extroverts, when you do connect with someone, it's usually genuine and meaningful. People probably trust you because they sense that you're not performing or trying to impress. You're simply being yourself. Your loyalty in relationships is probably profound. Once you've decided someone is worth your emotional investment, you're likely to be a steadfast, reliable friend. You remember important details about people's lives, offer thoughtful support during difficult times, and maintain friendships even when life gets busy or complicated. Your creativity often benefits from your introspective nature. Many introverts are drawn to creative pursuits because they provide an outlet for internal experiences and allow for the kind of deep focus that you naturally prefer. Whether it's writing, art, music, or other creative endeavors, you might find that your best work comes from your ability to dive deep into your inner world and translate those experiences into something external. Your listening skills make you an exceptional friend, partner, and colleague. While extroverts might dominate conversations, you create space for others to express themselves fully. People probably feel heard and understood when they talk to you, which makes you someone others seek out when they need support or simply want to feel valued. Dealing with overwhelm. As an introvert, you're particularly susceptible to various forms of overwhelm, and learning to recognize and manage these experiences is crucial for your well-being. Overwhelm isn't a character flaw. It's a natural response to your sensitive nervous system receiving more input than it can comfortably process. Sensory overwhelm is probably familiar to you. Bright lights, loud noises, strong smells, or busy visual environments can quickly become too much. You might notice that crowded spaces, noisy restaurants, or visually chaotic environments leave you feeling drained or agitated. This isn't pickiness. Your nervous system is simply more reactive to sensory input than that of extroverts. Social overwhelm is another common experience. Too many social interactions, even positive ones, can leave you feeling emotionally and mentally exhausted. You might find that after a busy social period, you need extended alone time to feel like yourself again. This could manifest as irritability, difficulty concentrating, or a strong desire to avoid further social contact. Information overwhelm can also affect you significantly. Because you process information thoroughly, being bombarded with too much input, whether it's news, social media, work demands, or personal information from others, can quickly become overwhelming. You might find that you need to limit your information intake or take regular breaks from sources of constant input. Emotional overwhelm occurs when you encounter intense emotions, either your own or others. Given your natural empathy and emotional sensitivity, you might absorb others' feelings or become overwhelmed by your own emotional responses. Emotionally charged environments or relationships can be particularly draining. Recognizing your early warning signs of overwhelm is crucial. You might notice physical symptoms like headaches, tension, or fatigue. Emotional signs could include irritability, anxiety, or feeling emotionally numb. Cognitive symptoms might include difficulty concentrating, feeling scattered, or having trouble making decisions. Behavioral changes might include withdrawing from others, avoiding responsibilities, or feeling unable to cope with normal activities. Developing strategies for managing overwhelm is essential. This might include creating regular alone time in your schedule, learning to say no to excessive commitments, practicing stress reduction techniques, or creating calm environments in your home and workspace. You might also benefit from limiting your exposure to overstimulating situations or building in recovery time after intense experiences. Prevention is often more effective than recovery when it comes to overwhelm. This means paying attention to your energy levels, planning for recharge time, and being proactive about managing your environment and commitments. It's not selfish to protect your energy. It's necessary for your health and effectiveness. Your work life and career. Your introverted nature significantly influences your work preferences, strengths, and challenges in professional environments. Understanding how to leverage your natural tendencies while managing the demands of various work situations can help you build a satisfying and successful career. You probably thrive in work environments that allow for independent work, minimal interruptions, and opportunities for deep focus. Open office plans and constant collaboration might feel draining, while having your own space or the ability to work remotely might significantly improve your productivity and job satisfaction. You're likely to do your best work when you can control your environment and work schedule to some degree. Your preference for thorough preparation probably makes you excellent at tasks requiring research, analysis, planning, and careful execution. You might excel in roles that require attention to detail, complex problem solving, or the ability to work independently on long-term projects. Your natural inclination to think before acting can be invaluable in fields where hasty decisions can be costly. However, you might find certain aspects of modern work culture challenging. Brainstorming sessions, frequent meetings, open collaboration, and networking events might feel draining rather than energizing. You might perform better when you have time to prepare for meetings, when you can contribute ideas in writing rather than spontaneously, or when you can follow up on group discussions with more thoughtful input later. Your communication style at work might be more deliberate and less frequent than that of extroverted colleagues. You probably prefer email to phone calls, written communication to impromptu conversations, and scheduled meetings to drop-in discussions. This doesn't mean you're antisocial or uncooperative. It means you communicate most effectively when you have time to organize your thoughts. Leadership as an introvert might look different from extroverted leadership, but it can be equally effective. You might lead through careful listening, thoughtful decision-making, and creating environments where others can contribute meaningfully. Your tendency to think before speaking and consider multiple perspectives can make you a wise and trusted leader, even if you don't fit the stereotypical image of the charismatic, outgoing executive. Your career satisfaction is likely to depend heavily on finding work that aligns with your values, allows you to use your strengths, and provides the right balance of challenge and calm. You might prioritize meaning and authenticity in your work over prestige or high social visibility. Finding a role that feels congruent with who you are is probably more important to you than impressing others or climbing traditional career ladders. Relationships and dating. Your approach to romantic relationships as an introvert is likely characterized by depth, authenticity, and a preference for genuine connection over casual dating. Understanding your relational patterns can help you build more satisfying partnerships and navigate the dating world more successfully. You probably prefer to develop romantic relationships slowly, taking time to really get to know someone before becoming deeply involved. Where extroverts might enjoy the excitement of meeting many new people and dating casually, you're more likely to invest your energy in fewer, more meaningful connections. This cautious approach isn't fear. It's wisdom about how you form lasting bonds. Your ideal relationship probably involves someone who appreciates your thoughtful nature, respects your need for alone time, and enjoys deeper conversations and connections. You might find superficial dating exhausting, and prefer partners who are willing to move beyond small talk to more substantial communication. Your best relationships likely develop from friendships or connections, where you can be authentic from the beginning. In established relationships, you probably value quality time that doesn't necessarily involve constant conversation or activity. You might enjoy parallel activities reading in the same room, taking quiet walks, or simply being together without feeling the need to fill every moment with interaction. Your partner might need to understand that your need for alone time isn't rejection of them, but necessary maintenance for your well-being. Your communication in relationships is likely thoughtful and considered. You might need time to process conflicts or important discussions before responding, which can sometimes be misinterpreted as withdrawal or lack of caring. Helping your partner understand that you process emotions internally before sharing them can prevent misunderstandings and strengthen your connection. You might find dating apps and large social events challenging as ways to meet potential partners. Instead, you're more likely to connect with people through shared interests, mutual friends, or activities that allow for natural conversation and connection. Online dating might work better for you if you can have substantial written communication before meeting in person. Your expression of love and affection might be quieter, but no less profound than that of extroverts. You might show love through thoughtful gestures, remembering important details, creating meaningful experiences, or simply being fully present with your partner. Your depth of feeling, once engaged, is likely to be intense and lasting. Finding your tribe. One of the most important aspects of thriving as an introvert is finding people who understand and appreciate your nature. Building a supportive community doesn't require large numbers of people. It requires the right people who get who you are and how you operate. Your tribe probably consists of people who value depth over breadth in relationships, who are comfortable with silence, and who don't expect you to be constantly on in social situations. These might be other introverts who share your preferences, or they might be extroverts who appreciate your thoughtful nature and don't try to change you. You might find your people through shared interests rather than purely social venues. Book clubs, hobby groups, classes, volunteer organizations, or professional associations focused on topics you care about can be excellent places to meet like-minded individuals. These settings provide natural conversation starters and shared experiences that can lead to deeper connections. Online communities can also be valuable for introverts. You might find it easier to connect initially through written communication, which allows you to express yourself thoughtfully and connect with others who share your interests or experiences. Online relationships can sometimes develop into meaningful offline friendships. Quality over quantity is key when building your social circle. You don't need dozens of friends or constant social activity. A few close, understanding relationships can provide all the social connection you need while respecting your energy limitations and preferred communication styles. Your tribe should include people who support your need for alone time, who don't take it personally when you decline social invitations, and who appreciate the unique perspectives and qualities you bring to relationships. These people understand that your quieter presence doesn't mean you're disengaged. It means you're observing, thinking, and contributing in your own valuable way. It's also important to find professional connections who understand and value introverted work styles. This might mean seeking out managers who appreciate independent work, colleagues who communicate thoughtfully, or professional networks that focus on substance over networking schmoozing. Embracing who you are. Perhaps the most important aspect of understanding your introverted psychology is learning to fully embrace and appreciate who you are, rather than trying to conform to extroverted ideals. Your introversion isn't something to overcome, it's something to understand, honor, and leverage. You live in a culture that often celebrates extroverted qualities, outgoingness, quick thinking, social connectivity, and high energy. This can sometimes make you feel like your natural preferences are somehow lacking or problematic. The truth is that introverted qualities are equally valuable and necessary in the world. Your thoughtfulness brings stability and wisdom to relationships and situations. Your ability to listen deeply helps others feel understood and valued. Your preference for authenticity creates genuine connections and trustworthy interactions. Your capacity for independent work allows you to tackle complex problems and create meaningful contributions. Embracing your introversion means setting boundaries that protect your energy and well-being. This might mean saying no to excessive social commitments, creating quiet spaces in your home and work life, or communicating your needs clearly to others. It's not selfish to honor your temperament. It's necessary for your health and effectiveness. It also means recognizing that your way of being in the world is valid and valuable. You don't need to become more outgoing, spontaneous, or socially active to be worthy or successful. You can build a fulfilling life that honors your natural preferences while still challenging yourself to grow in areas that matter to you. Your journey as an introvert is about finding the balance between honoring your nature and stretching beyond your comfort zone when it serves your goals and values. This might mean developing some extroverted skills for professional success while maintaining your introverted core, or learning to advocate for your needs while remaining open to new experiences. Understanding your introverted psychology is ultimately about self-acceptance and self-advocacy. You have unique gifts to offer the world, and those gifts are most powerful when you're operating from a place of self-understanding and self-respect. Your quiet presence, thoughtful contributions, and authentic connections make the world a richer, more balanced place. The key is to stop trying to be someone you're not, and start becoming the best version of who you are. Your introversion isn't a limitation to overcome, it's a strength to develop and a perspective to share. When you fully embrace your introverted nature, you give others permission to do the same, creating a world that values and accommodates different ways of being human. Your learning style and education. Your introverted nature profoundly influences how you learn best, process information, and succeed in educational environments. Understanding your learning preferences can help you optimize your educational experiences and achieve better outcomes, whether you're in formal schooling or pursuing lifelong learning. You probably learn most effectively when you have time to process information internally, before being expected to respond or demonstrate your knowledge. Traditional classroom settings that emphasize quick responses, spontaneous participation, or immediate feedback might not showcase your abilities accurately. You likely perform better on written assignments than oral presentations, and you might prefer take-home exams over in-class tests because they allow you the processing time you need. Your preference for depth over breadth in learning is likely pronounced. While extroverts might enjoy survey courses that cover many topics quickly, you probably prefer courses that allow you to dive deep into subjects that interest you. You might find yourself wanting to explore tangential topics or spend extra time understanding the underlying principles rather than just memorizing facts for tests. Independent study probably appeals to you more than group work. While collaborative learning is emphasized in many educational settings, you might find that you learn more effectively when you can work at your own pace, follow your own interests, and process information without the distraction of group dynamics. When you do participate in group work, you might prefer smaller groups where you can contribute meaningfully rather than large groups where you might get lost in the noise. Your note-taking style might be more elaborate and reflective than that of extroverts. You probably write down not just facts, but also your thoughts, questions, and connections between ideas. You might find that the act of writing helps you process and understand information better than just listening or discussing. You likely prefer learning environments that are calm and relatively quiet. Noisy classrooms, open learning spaces, or environments with lots of visual distractions might make it harder for you to concentrate and absorb information. You might do your best studying in quiet libraries, private study spaces, or at home where you can control the environment. Your relationship with teachers and professors might be more reserved, but potentially very meaningful. You probably don't speak up frequently in class discussions, but when you do contribute, your comments are likely thoughtful and well considered. You might prefer to approach instructors during office hours or through written communication, rather than speaking up in front of the entire class. Online learning might be particularly well suited to your learning style. The ability to work at your own pace, revisit material as needed, and participate in discussions through written communication rather than verbal participation can play to your strengths. You might find that you can express yourself more clearly and thoughtfully in online discussions than in face-to-face classroom debates. Your test-taking strategies probably involve thorough preparation and careful consideration of questions. You might be the type of student who reads questions multiple times, thinks through your answers carefully, and double-checks your work. Time pressure might be particularly challenging for you, not because you don't know the material, but because you prefer to think through your responses thoroughly. When it comes to choosing educational paths, you might be drawn to programs that allow for independent research, creative projects, or specialized focus areas. You might thrive in honors programs, independent study opportunities, or graduate programs where you can pursue your interests in depth with minimal external pressure to be socially performative. Your creative life. Creativity and introversion often go hand in hand, and your inner directed nature might fuel a rich creative life that provides both personal satisfaction and a means of expression. Understanding how your introversion influences your creativity can help you nurture and develop your artistic abilities. Your creativity likely emerges from your rich inner world. The time you spend in reflection, observation, and internal processing provides raw material for creative expression. You might find that your best creative ideas come during quiet moments, while walking alone, before falling asleep, or during periods of solitude when your mind is free to wander and make unexpected connections. You probably prefer creative pursuits that allow for solitary work and deep focus. Writing, visual arts, music composition, crafting, or other activities that can be done alone might appeal to you more than collaborative creative projects. This doesn't mean you can't work creatively with others, but you might find that you need solo time to develop your ideas before sharing them with collaborators. Your creative process likely involves periods of intense focus, followed by periods of reflection and processing. You might work on a project intensively for hours, then need time away from it to let ideas percolate before returning with fresh perspective. This cyclical approach to creativity honors your natural rhythm and often leads to more thoughtful, developed work. You might find that your creativity is enhanced by having a dedicated creative space, whether it's a home studio, a corner of a room, or even just a special notebook. Having a physical space that supports your creative work and provides the quiet environment you need can significantly boost your creative output and satisfaction. Your creative work might often explore themes of inner experience, human nature, emotion, or philosophical questions. Because you spend so much time in your inner world, you might have unique insights into human psychology, relationships, or the human condition that inform your creative expression. Your work might resonate with others who also live primarily in their inner worlds. The solitary nature of many creative pursuits might make them particularly satisfying for you. Unlike social activities that drain your energy, creative work might actually energize you, providing a sense of flow and fulfillment that's hard to find elsewhere. You might find that creative time serves as both a form of self-expression and a way to recharge your batteries. You might also be drawn to creative activities that involve learning and skill development. The process of mastering a craft, learning new techniques, or developing expertise in a creative area might be as satisfying as the end result. Your natural inclination toward depth and mastery can lead to high levels of creative skill over time. Your creative sensibilities might be influenced by your heightened sensitivity to your environment. You might notice color, texture, sound, or other sensory details that others miss, and these observations might inform your creative work. Your ability to pick up on subtle environmental cues can translate into nuanced, detailed creative expression. Sharing your creative work might feel vulnerable and require careful consideration. You might prefer to share your work with a small group of trusted people, rather than seeking broad public recognition. The process of putting your inner world into external form and then sharing it with others can feel particularly exposing for introverts. Your relationship with technology. Your introverted nature likely influences how you interact with technology, social media, and digital communication. Understanding these patterns can help you use technology in ways that support, rather than drain, your energy and well-being. You might find that certain aspects of technology align well with your introverted preferences. Email, text messaging, and other forms of written digital communication might feel more comfortable than phone calls or video chats, because they allow you time to think through your responses and communicate more thoughtfully. You can craft your messages carefully, express yourself clearly, and avoid the pressure of immediate response that comes with real-time communication. Social media might present a complex relationship for you. On one hand, platforms like Facebook, Instagram, or Twitter can provide ways to stay connected with friends and family without the energy drain of constant in-person interaction. You might appreciate being able to keep up with others' lives and share your own experiences on your own timeline. On the other hand, the constant stream of information, the pressure to present a curated version of yourself, and the potential for overwhelming social stimulation can be draining. You might find that you use social media differently than extroverts. Instead of posting frequently or engaging in lots of back and forth comments, you might be more of a lurker, reading and observing but commenting only when you have something meaningful to contribute. You might prefer platforms that allow for longer form content or more thoughtful interaction, rather than quick surface-level exchanges. The always-on nature of modern technology can be particularly challenging for introverts. Constant notifications, the expectation of immediate responses, and the blurring of boundaries between work and personal time can create a sense of never being able to truly disconnect and recharge. You might benefit from setting specific boundaries around technology use, such as designated phone-free times, notification limits, or digital Sabbaths. Online communities and forums might be particularly appealing to you. These platforms often allow for deep, thoughtful discussions about topics you're passionate about, and you can participate at your own pace and comfort level. You might find that you can express yourself more clearly in writing than in face-to-face discussions, and online communities can provide connection with like-minded people who share your interests. Video calls and virtual meetings might be particularly draining for you. The combination of social interaction and technological interface can be overwhelming, and you might find that virtual meetings are even more exhausting than in-person gatherings. The lack of natural social cues, the pressure to be on in front of a camera, and the technical aspects of managing the technology can all contribute to fatigue. You might use technology as a tool for your creative pursuits, learning, or personal interests. Digital tools for writing, art, music, or other creative endeavors might appeal to you because they allow for private exploration and experimentation. Online learning platforms, podcasts, and educational content might align well with your preference for self-directed learning. Your relationship with technology might also reflect your need for depth and authenticity. You might prefer platforms and tools that allow for meaningful connection and genuine expression rather than superficial interaction. You might be drawn to longer-form content, thoughtful discussions, and communities that value substance over style. Navigating an extroverted world. Living as an introvert in a world that often favors extroverted qualities requires strategy, self-advocacy, and the ability to translate your needs into language that others can understand. Developing these skills can help you thrive while remaining true to your nature. You might find that many social and professional situations are designed with extroverts in mind. Networking events, open office plans, brainstorming sessions, and social gatherings often assume that everyone thrives on high stimulation and constant interaction. Learning to navigate these situations while protecting your energy is crucial for your success and well-being. Developing what could be called social stamina might be important for your success. This doesn't mean becoming more extroverted, but rather building your capacity to function effectively in extroverted environments for limited periods. You might develop strategies for managing your energy during necessary social or professional interactions so you can perform well when needed. Learning to communicate your needs clearly without appearing antisocial or uncooperative is a valuable skill. You might need to explain that you work better with preparation time, that you prefer written communication for complex topics, or that you need quiet time to recharge. Framing these as professional preferences rather than personal limitations can help others understand and accommodate your needs. You might need to become skilled at finding the introverted spaces within extroverted environments. This might mean identifying quiet corners at networking events, finding allies who share your communication style, or creating opportunities for one-on-one conversations within group settings. Learning to work with the environment rather than against it can help you be more effective and comfortable. Developing confidence in your own contributions and value is essential when you're surrounded by more vocal, outgoing people. Your thoughtful insights, careful analysis, and genuine connections are valuable, even if they're not as immediately visible as extroverted contributions. Learning to recognize and articulate your own value can help you advocate for yourself more effectively. You might need to develop strategies for managing energy throughout the day. This might include scheduling breaks between meetings, planning recovery time after social events, or creating boundaries around your availability. Treating your energy as a finite resource that needs careful management can help you be more effective and prevent burnout. Building relationships with other introverts can provide support and validation in an extroverted world. Finding mentors, colleagues, or friends who understand your perspective can help you feel less alone and provide practical strategies for navigating challenging situations. You might also need to develop skills in selective engagement, learning when to speak up and when to conserve your energy. This means choosing your battles wisely, contributing meaningfully when you have something valuable to add, and recognizing that you don't need to match extroverts in frequency of contribution to be valuable. Your legacy and long-term impact. Understanding your potential long-term impact as an introvert can help you appreciate the unique contributions you make to the world and the lasting value of your quieter approach to life. Your legacy might look different from that of extroverts, but it can be equally meaningful and significant. Your influence might be more subtle but no less profound. While extroverts might have immediate, visible impact through their outgoing nature and social connections, your influence might work through deep, meaningful relationships, thoughtful contributions, and the example you set of living authentically according to your values. Your contributions to others' lives might be particularly meaningful because of your thoughtful, attentive nature. The people you influence, whether they're your children, students, friends, or colleagues, might carry forward the lessons they learned from your careful listening, genuine interest, and authentic presence. Your impact might ripple through generations in ways you never fully realize. Your work, whether professional or creative, might have lasting value because of the depth and thoughtfulness you bring to it. Your natural inclination to think thoroughly, consider multiple perspectives, and create meaningful contributions might result in work that stands the test of time and continues to influence others long after you're gone. Your example of living authentically as an introvert provides permission and inspiration for others to do the same. By refusing to apologize for your nature and instead leveraging your strengths, you demonstrate to other introverts that they too can thrive while being true to themselves. Your visible success and contentment as an introvert challenges societal assumptions about what success looks like. Your capacity for deep, meaningful relationships means that the people closest to you are likely to be profoundly influenced by your presence in their lives. Your children, if you have them, might learn from your example that it's possible to be successful and fulfilled while being quiet and thoughtful. Your friends might feel deeply seen and understood because of your natural empathy and listening skills. Your contributions to your community or field of work might be characterized by their depth and sustainability rather than their immediate visibility. You might be the person who creates lasting systems, develops thoughtful policies, or provides the careful analysis that prevents costly mistakes. Your behind-the-scenes contributions might be essential even if they're not always recognized. Your legacy might also include the spaces you create for other introverts to thrive, whether it's in your workplace, your family, or your community. You might be the person who advocates for quieter voices, creates opportunities for thoughtful contribution, and challenges assumptions about what effective participation looks like. The wisdom you develop through your introspective nature might be your greatest gift to others. Your capacity for self-reflection, combined with your observation of human nature, might result in insights that help others understand themselves and navigate their own lives more effectively. Your mentoring or teaching, whether formal or informal, might be characterized by depth and genuine understanding rather than surface-level advice. Your approach to life might also demonstrate alternative ways of being successful and fulfilled. In a culture that often equates success with extroverted qualities like networking, self-promotion, and constant activity, your example of finding satisfaction through depth, authenticity, and thoughtful contribution provides a valuable counterpoint. You show that there are many ways to live a meaningful life, and that quiet strength can be just as powerful as loud confidence. Understanding your potential legacy as an introvert can help you appreciate the value of your natural approach to life and feel confident in your contributions to the world. Your impact might be quieter than that of extroverts, but it's no less real or important The world needs your thoughtful perspective, your authentic presence, and your example of living true to your nature while still engaging meaningfully with others and contributing to the greater good.